What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Eclectic Beard Reactions. Hopefully, y'all are all doing good out there. All right, so this is part of that 1% of stuff that I find, like I said, 99% of what I react to is curated by you, the viewer. We got angry cops again. Antifa medic fails at using a tourniquet. So, yeah, let's take a look at this, because I'd hate for somebody to take and mess up using a tourniquet. That's not something you want to happen. Before we continue any further, like, subscribe, and notification bell. Here we go.
Ooh, medical training. Always stay up on that. It is super important. My drill sergeant sense is tingling, but that can only mean one thing. Some idiot with a bag of Band-Aids and a tourniquet is running around a whole bunch of different protests, acting like they know anything medically related. Yeah! I guess it's time to bleed out, baby. Woo!
Breathe. You're good, bro. You're good. Yeah, good.
While having a friend.
Wait. They do know tourniquets are to stop the bleeding, right? Like, that's...
You're good, bro. You're good. Yeah, good.
While having a friendly protest, one of these Antifa guys got hit in the leg with a rubber bullet, and all his friends decide to run over and help him out. And the first thing they decide to do with this little bitty teensy weensy baby brush burn on his leg is slap a tourniquet onto it. Brilliant. And during this whole thing, the little lady that's putting on this tourniquet and strapping it down tight at the top of this guy's leg is screaming she's trying to stop the blood. I don't think that...
There's no blood! Look, here's why I took and decided to react to this just off to what the title is. You apply a tourniquet the wrong way and you can cause severe permanent damage to a limb. If you don't know what the heck you're doing, you don't apply a tourniquet. You take and put some, if it's not like gushing out blood, use some paper towels. Use a towel. You don't use a tourniquet. Use gauze and some duct tape, for Christ's sake.
That wound, if we want to call it that, deserves a tourniquet. I know. Boy, he sure is not enjoying that. It would be wrong of me to enjoy it, wouldn't it? Now this guy's screaming and crying, I don't want to lose my leg! Because you idiots decide to put a tourniquet on a brush burn that isn't even bleeding! You bunch of LARPers! You learn life-saving techniques from Planned Parenthood or something? Or training in psych...
Bunch of LARPers. Live-action roleplay for those who don't know the term.
Encyclopedia is probably a bunch of Dr. Kevorkian self-help books. You look like you learned how to do that from an episode of Doc McStuffins. At least you learned from a person of color. Or is it cartoon of color? A cock? Picked up some medical tips from Casey Anthony's I'm a Parent and So Can All Shit Instead. Looking like you get all your medical supplies from OJ's gloves and stuff. This medical reacted more than an old Italian woman with her only son. Oh, bibbidi boy, you need to eat some food. Your mama's so mad and upset. It begs the question, what do you do when you see a kid scrape his knee on the playground? Just pull out a hacksaw and start sawing that bad boy off? Sorry, little Jimmy, we gotta amputate that shit. Like he's just been wounded in the middle of the Battle of Gettysburg? That poor medic probably goes to a dodgeball tournament and just brings a bunch of body bags. I'm sorry, my lady, but when your child was struck in the face with a dodgeball, we did determine he was no more. He hath been smote. He was smited. Smoten. When she's talking to the guy, she says, oh, I gotta stop the bleeding.
We just don't want you to bleed. Okay?
You're good.
You could apply pressure if you want to. There's no need for... See, this is the thing. Here's my thing. Here's my thing completely with this. You're going to take and go out and the cops get over frisky with stuff, and you get by a rubber bullet, and somebody applies a tourniquet because you didn't get hit in the head and sent to the hospital that way, real fucked up, I know. You get hit in the leg like this, and somebody applies a tourniquet, and it stays on for too goddamn long. All I'm trying to do is stop the blood. And there's no bleeding. The thing about it is, if he'd have needed a tourniquet, his pants leg would have been covered in blood right there where it was at before that he got to him. That would have meant that a main artery was hit. That's when you use a tourniquet. Main artery is hit, and the person is at risk of bleeding out. I've been stabbed in the leg deeper than what that looks like happened.
What bleeding? The only thing bleeding is this kid's bleeding heart. And that's not even taken literally, hon. That's a figure of speech. You're better off just sucking the venom out. What venom? He wasn't bit by a snake. Well, he ain't bleeding either, so what's the fucking point of the tourniquet? Where did you do your practicals? The University of Phoenix? I have a guess as to where she's been storing that tourniquet, and it's probably been around her neck, because God knows there has been no blood flow up to that vital organ in quite some time. People are yelling, breathe, breathe.
He's screaming.
Was he going into labor? I've seen.
He's screaming. If they're screaming, they're breathing. Trust me. What the fuck? I understand they're trying to help, but you don't harm somebody. But because you don't have. You shouldn't be a medic to people who are at the riots and the protest if you don't know what the fuck you're doing. If it looks above your pay grade, call a fucking ambulance. Apply pressure if you have to because it's bleeding really bad. Don't apply a fucking tourniquet.
5-year-olds fall off their bike in the middle of the street and get up with a little bit more action. You know what the saying goes, sticks and stones may break my bones, but rubber bullets need a goddamn tourniquet. Well, after all that commotion, I guess we learned one thing. Keep your eyes on the prize and your hands away from that dude's thighs. I feel like this woman is the Karen of combat medics. Just running in and trying to take over a scene, not knowing what the hell she's fucking talking about.
Letting you know.
I need to cut his fucking
And the Academy Award goes to Overreactionary Antifa Activist. Oh, West Coast edition. So nice. Oh, thank you so much. I would thank God that I am an anarcho-atheist, gender-fluid helicopter. I would thank the Academy, but we all know positions of power are automatically racist. I can only say I wish that the person giving me medical aid wasn't white, but I am blessed to know that she wasn't a man, or identified as one. And finally, I would like to note that my privilege is what saved me. Thank you. Thank you.
There we have it. Angry cops. Antifa medic fails at using a tourniquet. No, I don't agree with all the language he used. At all. However, I understand with the sentiment behind the reason why he had the reaction that he did. Because if I were to see the video, I'd have reacted the same fucking way. Why are you using a tourniquet whenever there's no blood? There's no blood. None. None. There's no artery hit that needs a tourniquet because they're not going to bleed out. I understand. He got hit with a rubber bullet by a cop. Completely understand that. So, if anything, he probably needed some Advil because it hurt his leg really bad. Maybe even a lower tab because it hurt his leg really bad. I'm sure that stings like a mofo. However, you can tell just by looking at that it didn't take and go in. It didn't hit anything but the outer flesh, the subcutaneous level, or the epidermis, and then just a layer of like subcutaneous. That's it. That's it. A tourniquet, you can lose a limb if done improperly. That was done improperly. So, y'all keep the recommendations coming. If you like what you see, like, subscribe, notification bell. Y'all have a lovely one. Peace.